Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Welcome to the Person Everyone Needs podcast. I am Webb Hoggard, and it has been my joy for the last almost 3 years getting to do this every single week, just hoping to be an encouragement to you and reminding you every single week that you could possibly be the person that somebody needs near you. I want to talk to you today on the season for encouragement, the season for enlightening, a season where as the days get darker, there's opportunity for light to be shown for other people. Back when I was a little kid, my mother purchased a little karaoke machine, and of course now they're in a regular part of everybody's homes. I'm sure everybody gets to play karaoke, but at my house it was a pretty special time that we got to actually sing some Christmas carols and that kind of thing. And so there was this little lit up thing that these little teeny lights would light up the words as you're trying to sing along with it, and on the microphone, you could change the key, and it was a pretty cool thing. So growing up, I really enjoyed getting to do that. I would sing, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. I'd sing Santa Baby. I learned Blue Christmas and White Christmas, and there was a lot of the Silver Bells songs and stuff like that. And there was probably about 50 songs. Again, you have to understand this was in the 90s, so it was a long time ago. But as I was getting to sing these songs, my dad, for the first time, recognized that I had a voice. And the way I know that is one night he got his bass out. He plays bass. He plays on the worship team at our church now. And he gets his bass out and he starts playing along. And we're just having some fun. I've never really seen my dad just get his instrument out and enjoy it. But there was a time where he was saying, I don't really play that song in that key. So he reaches over on the microphone and starts changing the key. But this particular machine, when you change the key, it doesn't like shut the song off or go back to the beginning. It just changes the key as you're going. And he would click a button and my voice would just modulate to the key that we were on. And he'd click a button and it'd go up to the key. And he was all of a sudden just looking at me, and he kept like clicking the button faster to see if I could just jump to it. And then I'll never forget it. I don't remember a lot of times that my dad was like impressed with me. But this was a moment where he lit up and he was like, "Oh my gosh, son, you can hear these chords, like you're on it, man. Your ear is perfect." And I don't know. I wonder if that wasn't one of the things that kind of put the gas in the tank for me to continue to sing even to now. That's one of my greatest joys. I love getting the opportunity to sing carols for other people. I love the opportunity to get to sing worship at the church and to sing together with my boys and with my family. And singing is just a precious thing to me, which is a family thing. But I'll never forget that Christmas time that we just had that karaoke machine, which is just a regular part. It was like one of the decorations. It wasn't like every year we took time to notice that it was there. It was just something that was in the corner of the room. But because of that moment, I got an affirmation from my dad that even to this day is one of those stories I remember, like when the light came on that I might have something special about me. That was a moment that I got to receive that. So what does that got to do with you? I'm just telling you a story about my Christmas, but maybe there's a moment that's going to take place. Maybe there's going to be a situation that tees up for you to bring some great encouragement and laughter and joy for someone who's a friend or a family. I know we're past the point for specific gifts to be what, includes that or whatever, but I would just be looking among your children, among your family, your spouse even maybe, just a way of reminding them of what makes them so special. And I'll tell you what will happen is you'll notice something and you'll get really excited about it, and then your brain will tell you, don't say that to them because then they'll disappoint you or something like that. No, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and make the positive comment. Go ahead and make the positive investment. One day you might have to critique or criticize other things. You might have to do some other editing. But I just tell you, go ahead and say the thing that's on your heart at the end of this year, just an encouragement, because you never know what that little bit of encouragement might mean in the long haul of their life. That's what the person that everyone needs does on the regular. They see their value and they point it out. Nobody is a completely healthy. Nobody is a completely whole. Nobody is completely right. There's so many failures and so many issues that we all have. And let me tell you, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't really think I have an issue, I can promise you, you could talk to some of the people around you, and you might even say to yourself, well, they might have an issue with it, but I'm happy with it. That's a problem. So every one of us has deficits. It's not that impressive to find somebody's deficit. It's much more enjoyable to find somebody's positives and bless those things. And so, as I said, with this season, I'll just never forget that story, that it was a moment that my dad breathed life into something. And then later on, he would also breathe life. When I started my first band, he would talk about when we were singing together, he'd just say, man, you guys are amazing. I think you all should do all that you can to push that forward. And he even really blessed us to go create a CD. And we went and did it. We went and recorded when I was just 18 years old. We went and recorded my first album, and my first at current, it's my only. So don't be looking for me on Spotify. But I'll just never forget what a little bit of encouragement has done. I was recently asked about small groups in the church and how small groups have impacted my life, and I was reminded of Mrs. Rutland, Miss Allison Rutland, Dr. Mark Rutland's wife. He was the president at my school. But she took me under her wing while I was there, and there was just an incredible season of wanting to live up to her expectations for me. And I'll just never forget her speaking life over me, who at the particular time was pretty unknown. I was a very unknown person on campus, and I didn't really have much of a personality that was attractive to anyone, but she saw something and then breathed life into it, and still to this day, I'm thankful for that season in my life. And so as we're on Christmas, I'll just say one more thing. My mom has always been one. She's always had the heart to make things special. And so if I had to attribute to somebody the one who makes Christmas special, it would definitely be her. She's always taken painstaking time to make sure that everybody gets what they want and that they're looking forward to that season, and that it's just a very important and beautiful season. And things change over time as life situations change, and there are people that we used to see on Christmas and we don't see them anymore. Some have passed, and after they pass, some stop getting together. I remember just about 11 years ago, just a couple weeks before Christmas, my grandfather passed, her dad. And it really changed Christmas forever, because I didn't realize, I didn't know this, but Christmas was actually really special to him. He was, when I was a little kid, we would, on Christmas Eve, be with them a lot. And our families lived about an hour away. And so Christmas Eve, we'd go over to my grandmother's house. And on the way back, I'd ride with my grandmother back to her house. And on the way over, every time we'd see a red light in the sky, whether it be an airplane or a phone tower of some sort, my granddaddy, who was very not much toward the mystical on anything else, he'd always say, hey, look, Webb, it's Rudolph. And I just remember as a kid, I mean, I'm talking about even as old as 10, 11, 12, I would sit back there and be like, man, maybe that is it. Because, I mean, what else would the red light be? And sitting there blinking in the sky. And I still catch myself, even now, like, I pointed out to my wife the other night. I was just like, hey, look, it's Rudolph. And she's like, what is that? I was like, oh, I don't know what to tell you. As I'm just sharing a couple of stories today, you know, this is a moment that's pregnant for opportunity for memories. So lean in, not to overwhelm your schedule or to deplete the bank account. I'm not saying, you know, that you have to make it special. What I'm saying is, it might be as simple as noticing somebody's love for music that might spark for them something great in the future. It might be just paying attention to somebody and making sure that the gift they really wanted is coming through. Or it might just be willing to dream and be excited with some kids and look for Rudolph in the sky. But the person that is magical, a person that is unforgettable, that's the person that everyone needs. Everyone needs somebody who doesn't take themselves so seriously that they can really enjoy just being with you, being around you. Maybe you need to pull out the old joke book and get a couple of good little one-liners to encourage somebody else. Maybe you need to be the one who walks into your family and just begins to be the person full of cheer. Make sure you tell the people how grateful you are and how glad you are to get to be with them. Because, as you always know, every Christmas is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be some people added. There's going to be some people taken away. And we have to make sure that in the midst of all those things, we're just the kind of person that everyone needs. And that's a person that adds value, that gives encouragement, that falls in love with, who seems a little bit magical because they're looking at things that nobody else apparently can see sometimes. And you have no idea when that is going to change everything. My mom bought this cheap little karaoke machine, and it changed a part of my life. Look for those opportunities in yours. Somebody in your circle during this season needs that level of encouragement. I'll tell you this. You're the person that everyone needs. So go be it. Merry Christmas.